tell me that I can't. I'm a boss, bitch, I don't need a hand. If I wanna get it, baby, I'ma make a plan. Collecting all my coins, gotta get that bread. Ain't no debating, I'm a baddie.
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing great. Today we're going to be trying out the 𝘃𝗀𝗃 cover tips, and these are their jelly tips or gel X nails. These are full covered soft gel tips, but before we get into the information of the nail tips, let's talk about the packaging. 𝘃𝗀𝗃 always takes that little extra detail to make their packaging just stand out and a little bit more luxurious. Each one of these packages do come nicely sealed with this vacuum sealed vinyl, which is going to prevent it from spilling during shipping. Now at the front of the package, we do have the 𝘃𝗀𝗃 logo in the right corner of the clear tip box, as well as on that label you have the color, the length and the shape of the nail tip that's in the box, as well as a little picture of the tip itself. And at the back of the box you do have some more information. Now the label is matte, it does have this nice velvet feel, but the letters and the writing on it is glossy and it is raised, so it is a textured label. And another thing that I noticed is the labels match the color of the tips that's inside of each box. I am going to show you guys what all of these tips look like on me, because I am like a darker skin tone, so sometimes buying them and just seeing them online, they could look different. So the first one I have is called a more, and I'm sharing with you the medium square. This one can almost pass as a soft white, that's just how light it is, but it does have the faintest bit of pink hue in it. This one is called Valentine. This is definitely one of my favorite shades of nude. It does look a little bit darker in the box, but now that I put it on, as you guys can see, it is stunning on my skin tone. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. This is the medium coffin. Next up I have Vanilla Sky, and at first this one was kind of iffy for me. I thought it would have been a little bit darker because it does look darker in the box, but on it looks like such a natural cool tone shade of nude. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is also the medium square. And the last one that I have to share with you guys is called Blooming. She is like a bubblegum pink. Absolutely stunning. It does look a little bit darker as it's clustered in the box, but on she is gorgeous. And this is the medium almond shape. Now here are all four colors side by side, and I must say the only one that I didn't too fancy on me as a nail bed color was a more. Even though I may not be using it as a nail bed color, it would make a pretty background for some nail art. Now to apply these tips, I am going to be using the 𝘃𝗀𝗃 Essentials, which is their prep, which is step 1, their primer, which is step 2, as well as their builder. This one is step 3, and finally we have their top coat, which is step 4. And I love how all of these are numbered in the order that you need to use them, making it so beginner friendly. Starting with my nail prep, I am using the mini barrel diamond bit from 𝘃𝗀𝗃. This is one of their new released cuticle prep bits, and let me tell you, it is a must-have. Like, I don't know what I would have done without this bit. I do have my Beyond Pro rechargeable e-file set at 3000 RPMs. She might be small, but she is mighty. Because it's not a rounded tip for a prep bit, it is flat at the top. It makes it so easy to get down into the sidewalls and around the cuticle area and remove all of that dead cuticle. This bit is amazing. I do have multiple of them because I tend to use them every single day on my clients and on myself, and I will 100% recommend it. Next up, I am taking my small mandrel bit as well as my small sanding band. This is the white medium grit from 𝘃𝗀𝗃. I'm going to use this just to remove the surface shine off of my natural nails, and I'm just using this at 3000 RPMs as well, not filing into it, not over filing it. I did have some stubborn cuticle and I did not use my ball bit in this prep, so I am taking my Melody Susie cuticle nippers and I'm just going to trim that cuticle. Yes, I decided to trim my cuticles instead of using my ball bit today. So don't come for me guys, I honestly find when I take my time and trim the excess cuticle off, I do get a cleaner finish at the end result compared to my ball bit. So I'm just gently trimming off that raised cuticle. A pro tip, once you're cutting off the dead cuticle, you don't feel it. If it is that you're feeling the nipples, which means you're not cutting dead cuticle. Now it is time for me to go ahead and size out my nail tips. Of course, I decided to go with Valentine because it's one of my favorites. I am using the medium square for this set today. So one thing about sizing out your nail tips is that you want to make sure that they fit perfectly from sidewall to sidewall without applying any pressure to that tip. You don't want to press the tip down on your nail to make it spread. Forcing a nail tip on is going to cause it to pop off, so it's not going to last, and you can also risk damaging your natural nail bed underneath, and you definitely don't want to do that. If it is that you are in between sizes, go with the bigger size and shape the nail down to make sure that it fits your natural nails sidewall to sidewall. It may take a little more time, but it's definitely worth it. These nails do need to be prepped. I am taking the same medium grit sanding band as well as the small mandrel bit, and I'm just going to prep inside of that nail tip where the jelly tip is going to be adhered to my natural nails. I'm not prepping the entire thing on the inside, only where my natural nail is going to stop. Now when I say I'm prepping the inside of the nail tip, all I'm doing is creating a rough surface which gives the inside of the jelly tip a texture and helps the jelly tip to bind with the gel to your natural nails. There are two ways to prime your jelly tips. This is one way, by roughing up the inside. The second way is by chemically priming the inside of the tip. If you guys are interested, I can show you that in a separate video, but for me, I do prefer to just rough up or buff away the shine from the jelly tip with my sanding band. This works for me, and it does help my clients' nails to last a month plus before they come back in to change out their set. Now, if you're not familiar with these jelly tips and priming the inside, you might be wondering, how would I know if I'm overfiling or if the inside of the jelly tip is completely prepped? You do want to turn that tip to different angles. You are going to see where it's matte and where it's glossy. You don't want any shiny spots on the inside of that jelly tip, especially on the part that is going to be adhered to your natural nails. You want to make sure that area is completely matte. So there is a logo on the inside of the 𝗃𝗃 jelly tips to the cuticle area. I use that as my gauge when it comes to priming the inside of the tip. Once it is, I turn the tip all different ways and I don't see any shiny spots, especially where the nail bed is going to be, and that logo is completely gone, then I'm not going to file the gel extensions anymore. Now that everything is prepped and ready, it is time for my application. So I am taking the 𝗃𝗃 Prep. This is a dehydrator, and I'm going to apply it to my entire nail surface. And you know when your nails are very well prepped once you apply your dehydrator and it looks as though your nails are screaming, begging for water, or it looks like a chalkboard. It completely has no oils or no shiny spots, then you are ready to go. Next, I am going to apply the primer, which is step 2, and I am being very slow with this because it is primer. You don't want it to touch your skin or flood your cuticle area, so I am working it around the cuticle area first, very gently, and then I'm going to swipe it across the entire nail surface. Now my nail beds are tiny, so therefore it doesn't take much primer, or it doesn't take much product at all when it comes to doing this step. So I'm just going to prime my nails just one time. I don't do 2 coats of primer when I'm applying jelly tips, just one. Now I am taking the builder, which is step 3, and I'm going to be applying a very thin coat of this to my entire natural nail, leaving a hairline space around the cuticle area as well as my sidewalls. I'm not going to take it all the way to the skin on the sidewalls. I do leave like just a little pinch between each area, and once it is I do that, if I get any products on my skin, I'm going to take a cleaner brush and some alcohol, and I'm going to clean up my skin before I pop it into my light to cure. So today I'll be using this beauty. I do have an unboxing video coming where I show you guys this, like me unboxing it, but I've been using it since I did unbox it. And this is the brand new 𝘃𝗀𝗃 rechargeable flash cure light. So you go ahead and power it on, and it does automatically come on once you click that power switch. But guys, it has a freaking infrared sensor, as you guys can see me passing my hand on top of the light, which turns it on and off. I am very excited here because this has changed the game for flash cure lights. Like, that base is so sturdy that listen, that table can shake and the light is not going to fall over. The infrared sensor makes it so easy to apply your tips on nice and straight, as well as that gooseneck. You can position it in every angle that is comfortable for you. If you don't take anything away from this video, you need to run to get that. Now it's time for my application. So I am using step 3, which is the 𝘃𝗀𝗃 builder. Now when I take the brush out of the bottle, I do like to pass it on one side, wiping away all the excess product on one side of my brush. With the opposite side of the brush, the part that I didn't wipe, is what I'm going to be applying that amount of gel onto the nail tip. So I do like to pass it as I'm applying a top coat on the nail, and then at the cuticle area I'm just going to swipe the brush to remove any excess product from within the application brush onto the nail tip. This is where it gets tricky. So I do hold my nail tip to the cuticle area at a 45-degree angle. So you're just sort of angling it kind of parallel to the natural nail plate, and then I'm going to press it to work the gel from the cuticle to the free edge of my nail tip. Now it's hard to see my nail tip through these cover tips, especially on camera, but I can feel it underneath the nail, and I know when it reaches the free edge of my natural nails, and that is when I'm going to go ahead and flash cure it. Also, while applying the tips to the cuticle area, I do like to leave just a hairline space away from the cuticle. This is in case any gel were to squeeze out, and I don't want it to get on my skin, but even if it does squeeze out, it's going to make it easier with that space to remove it with my e-file. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the same steps that I just explained to you guys until all of my gel extensions are on. I made the dumbest mistake. I went ahead and glued the wrong tip to my middle finger. So as you guys can see, it is too small. So I'm going to remove it. A perfect opportunity to show you guys how easy these are to remove. So I did go ahead and trim this nail down with my nail tip cutter, and taking the nail removal foils pre-cut by 𝘃𝗀𝗃, I am going to just saturate that with some acetone, wrap it up, and I'm going to leave this for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm going to allow it to soak off. I promise you I'm not showing you my middle finger, I'm just showing you guys that. Now that the 15 minutes, I did leave it just for 15 minutes. Now that that tip is nice and soft, I am taking the 𝘃𝗀𝗃 XL carbide bit. This is in a fine grit, and I'm going to be removing that gel tip. I'm not going to prep my nails again because I just did that. I'm just going to go ahead and apply a brand new tip, the correct size this time. And I'm not filing my nail with this drill bit. I promise you I'm just removing that builder from my natural nail. I did not even apply builder again on my natural nail. I'm just applying it to the nail tip, and I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my nail at a 45-degree angle, as I showed you guys before. Holding it this way does eliminate the air bubbles from getting inside, and because this is a nude cover jelly tip, you definitely don't want to see any air bubbles in it. Once all of my nails were completed, I did go ahead and pop it in my Beyond Pro rechargeable LED light, and I gave it a full 60-second cure. Now I'm taking the 𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗄𝑠 Flawless Cuticles Diamond Bit, and I'm just using this to remove any excess gel as well as seal in the cuticle area. After I do that, I am taking my acetone as well as a cleanup brush, and I am just going to blend that tip into my natural nail to remove that little gap that I left between the extension and my cuticle area. And that is all I'm going to do when it comes to sealing in these jelly tips. It's really good quality jelly tips, and it doesn't take much to seal in that cuticle area, make it look nice and flush as though it's growing out from your natural nails. Now, my biggest pet peeve with jelly tips is that I like to see a nice crisp shape. Like when I'm finished with my gel extensions, you cannot tell if it's gel or acrylic. And to do this, I do tend to really file these nails into shape. Again, with the 𝘃𝗀𝗃 5-in-1 XL drill bit. This is the medium grit. I'm going to start eliminating that curved edge of my jelly tips, as well as removing the, that rounded tip. It's not square, it's rounded, so you want it nice, like a nice crisp square. If you don't want to use an e-file to reshape your nails, that's fine. I will recommend going in with an 80 grit hand file and just getting that nice crisp shape. I'm also using the tip of my drill bit to go ahead and remove any of those strings that create once you file the jelly tips, because when you apply polish to that, it is going to show up and it just does not look cute. And another thing that I like to do is after I'm finished filing, I do go ahead and remove all the dust from my extensions, and I just use the primer and prime the entire surface of my gel extensions before I go in with any design. Well, in this case I don't need to polish because they are pre-colored, so therefore there's not any base to apply. I'm just going to go ahead and start my design. Now we're getting into my favorite part, which is doing the design. So I am taking Blank Slate by 𝘃𝗀𝗃. This is their gel paint, and the consistency of this is freaking amazing, especially for doing French tips. This product does not move, it does not budge. So I am using their XL liner brush as well, and I am going to start off by creating my famous capital A on the tip of these nails. So I'm just making sure that when I do my V cut first, that it is even on both sides, and then I'm going to do the center line, and this center line actually determines how high or how low your French tip lies. I really wanted a nice deep French on these, so I did do it a little bit higher, and then I started rounding out that line. Once I look at it from my peripheral view and everything looks nice, clean, centered and crisp, I am taking a petal brush. I do recommend Madam Glam's petal brush, and I would link it in my description box below, and I'm just going to fill in the French tip. Now I got distracted and I completely messed up the French itself, and I think it's because my son was running around in the salon and I had to keep an eye on him while painting these French tips. So I did slip with my hand while I was filling it in, but it wasn't anything like major that I had to go in with a cleaner brush or acetone or anything like that. So after filling in the French tip, I'm going to go ahead and cure it. So that is all I'm going to do. I'm going to repeat the same process for the French tip nails, and I did do my pinky, my index and my thumb with the plain white French tips. But once I'm finished with all my French tips, I do give it a full 60-second cure, as well as go ahead and immediately apply my top coat on top of these because I so don't want to mess them up. So for my top coats today, I'm not using step 4 from the 𝘃𝗀𝗀𝗃 kit. I am using one of my favorites, which is the 𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃's shiny no wipe gel top coat. Guys, this is amazing. I love it. It does not stain. It remains shiny for weeks, and I will prove it to you guys at the end of this video because I did forget to take my end clip the day that I did this set, so I did take it like a week later, unfortunately, but that's kind of like a good thing, so you guys got an update as to what the nails look like after a week's time. For my ring finger and my middle finger, I'm doing a sort of abstract swirl French tip. I don't know what to call it. I just did like a very random shape at the free edge of the tips. Now, I didn't get it right on my ring finger the first time, so I just went ahead and removed that, primed the nail again, and then I went in and redid it. After doing it and filling it in with the petal brush, I'm going to go ahead and give it a full 60-second cure. Before going in with my black, I am going to protect this white tip with the Madam Glam's No Wipe Gel Top Coat, and this is in case I make a mistake. It's not going to seep into any creases in that white and be hard for me to clean the white and keep it like crisp. So this is just a protection layer, and it is going to be cured just for about 30 seconds. So for the black gel paint today, I am using the Tones Black Painting Gel. I love the viscosity of the Tones painting gels, especially for fine line details, because it is not as thick as the 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 gel pods, but it is still opaque and it does glide on the nail, making it so easy to create fine or sometimes even thicker lines, but it just lies nice and flat to the nail. Because the 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 gel pod is so thick, if it is I were to create the zebra print lines with this gel pod, then it would be a little bit of a textured effect, if that makes sense, rather than laying nice and flat to the nail surface. To create my zebra prints, I am using the 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 medium liner art brush. 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 nail art brushes are one of the best that I've used thus far, and that is a big shoe to fill. I love the size of the brushes as well as the movement. It's very easy to control. I actually miss doing animal print nails. Like, you guys remember we were obsessed with zebra print and leopard print at one time. So I decided that I wanted to do some zebra prints because it's been forever and a day since I did zebra print. And what I love about it is that it does not have to be perfect. You just want to play around with this until it looks appealing to the eye. Once I'm happy with the way that it looks, I am going to go ahead and cure this black, and I'm just going to repeat this on my ring finger. The 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 jelly tips, I did not mention to you guys before, they only come in 2 different lengths, which is short and medium, as well as 6 shades. So it does come in 6 different shades. I showed you guys 4 shades in today's video, as well as they come with 3 shapes, which is the 3 that I shared with you guys: the square, the coffin, as well as the almond shape. So I would list everything in my description box below for those of you who are interested. I do have a discount code with 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 that saves you 10% off your entire purchase. I will also have every single product that I used to create this set listed and linked in my description box below. And if you enjoyed today's video, just take one quick second and give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment and tell me what you think about these cover tips. My concern was, do they cure and how long they last? And I can definitely tell you guys that they cure all the way through, even with that flash cure and me applying the wrong tip. I was not able to just flick it off because it was cured. I did have to go and soak it off as I showed you guys. So I will highly recommend these for a quick set. They are pre-shaped and pre-colored. Of course, I went in and did a little extra shaping because I am me and I love my nails crisp and sharp. Because the gel tips do tend to lose their shape quicker than acrylic, then you definitely want to take that extra time and sort of shape them up. So even doing today's voiceover, knowing that my nails are like a week and a half old, and I will show you guys what it looks like in the last picture at the end of this video, the shape is still there. It's still nice and crisp. It still has that nice square looking shape, and my corners have not rounded. My final take on these tips, I absolutely love the fact that they are already colored. Like, this saves so much time when it comes to creating a design, especially now that I'm in my son's toddler phase. I need something quick and easy and to the point when it comes to application. To complete this set, I decided to add some rhinestones to outline that zebra print. So I'm taking the Not Polished Gem Gel as well as the 𝘃𝗃 rhinestones in the shade Northern Light and the 𝘃𝗃 rhinestone tool picker, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the same size rhinestones to create a strip to outline my zebra print tip. And I'm just going to fiddle with it until I'm happy with it, and once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to flash cure it for 15 seconds and repeat the same thing to the other nail. Once I apply all my rhinestones, I do give it a full 30-second cure before I go in with my top coats. Now that my zebra print nails are completed and those rhinestones just make them pop so much more, I am taking Shiny Gel Top Coat by Nail Couture, and I am going to apply this to the tip of the nail, seeing as I already did the entire no wipe gel top coat before I did my zebra print. And I'm also using this to seal in my rhinestones. Once that is finished, I'm going to go ahead and remove any excess gel along the sidewalls of the nail extension to help maintain my nail shape and give my nails a final cure of 60 seconds. And that is it for today's video. She is cute, classy, and absolutely gorgeous. If you enjoy these easy, simple nail art tutorials, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. As well as, if you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. So that is it for me. As always, I would love you guys to stay glamorous, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one.